how is the media back in India reacting to this news? We can now speak to Amrit Dhillon, the Times correspondent in India, to run the rule over how Rishi Sunak is going down back in India. Afternoon, Amrit.
Hi there.
Um, so remind us what Rishi Sunak's connection to India is, because he's of Indian descent. His parents Indian immigrants, or the second generation Indian immigrants, and his wife is Indian. How large does he loom in the Indian conscious as a member of the diaspora done good in Britain?
Not very large. Normally, what happens in India is that when Indians based abroad become successful, there's tremendous excitement and pride in India at their success. And so there's usually a lot of media coverage. Journalists will go to the town and village that they were raised in or were born in. They'll talk to aunties and uncles for stories and anecdotes about them, what they were like as kids. They'll talk to the local teacher to ask what they were like at school. And so the media, in those sorts of cases, when someone becomes head of Google or head of Microsoft, or when Kamala Harris became American vice president, the media will create a kind of nice, colorful picture about that successful Indian based abroad. Now, and that creates a kind of emotional resonance in the public too. Now, the problem with Sunak is that his connection to India is really, really very tenuous. I mean, as far as I know, he has no relatives here. His grandparents, of course, were the ones who migrated from India to East Africa. So journalists can't go anywhere to talk to any relative. They can't describe the place where he was raised or where he went to school. So in that sense, there is, of course, media interest, but not as much as you might think, because there simply isn't enough material for people to get their teeth into.
And what will the reaction in India, the political reaction, be to Britain getting its first Prime Minister of Indian descent then?
I think there will be overall a little kind of frisson of pride in a very kind of general way that someone of Indian origin has reached the highest office in the land. But as one commentator told me, there'll be much more excitement in some sections of the public, particularly amongst the Hindu right. Um, so they will kind of try to make some kind of forced connection between Modi, Hinduism, the ruling BJP, and Sunak's ascendancy. So they'll kind of say, they're expected to say, if he becomes premier, that, Modi has raised the profile of India in the world. He's made Hindus proud to be Hindu. And Sunak is a Hindu, a practicing Hindu, who has said that he's very proud of his faith and very proud of his culture. And so they would try to kind of piggyback on that in some way to get some kind of credit for it and to claim that achievement as their own. And in fact, someone was saying the other day that some people will even say we're looking at reverse colonialism. I mean, this would be, of course, an extreme reaction that, the people who used to be ruled by Britain, by the empire, are now going to be ruling Britain. And so there will be all kinds of reactions based on where people come from politically.
Well, and we'll also see whether Rishi Sunak ascending to the highest office in the land might revive flagging trade talks over an Indian trade deal, if that is indeed the reaction inside the Modi government. Amrit Dhillon, Times correspondent in India, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon to talk about the man who looks likely to be Britain's first Indian descent Prime Minister.